Welcome to the Featured Anime Podcast. I'm your host, Jack.
And I'm Rick.
And today we are talking about cheating craft. This was your choice this week.
Yeah, I figured we could do something a little bit lighter now. A little, not necessarily shorter, but actually, yeah, shorter.
It was very much short for a series. So it's 12 episodes long. It came out in October 2016, ran all the way through December. It had a producer of Haoliners Animation League, Emon, and the studio of Blade. It's sourced from a novel, and the genres are action, comedy, and school. This one is different in that, much like Magical Senpai, each episode was only about maybe 12 minutes long, including opening and ending.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool as far as the timeline goes, because you'd think you could skip over the opening and closing, but oftentimes they change almost by the episode, I would say.
Yeah, and it was one of those ones that was really hard to really kind of follow, I think, personally, simply because it really didn't have a linear story, so to speak, that you really could follow. It to me felt like it was more of along the lines of a hodgepodge of all kinds of different episodes and ideas and thoughts, and then they decided to just kind of run with it and hope for the best.
That's an interesting way to look at it. The way that I saw it, or the way that it appeared to me, was that you're looking in just glimpses of their life, and when you're not watching, the story still keeps going forward. So I thought that, yeah, it did have a linear path. It's just lots of stuff you didn't happen to see. It's like they cut out all of the uninteresting stuff from someone's life. Like the training montages just weren't there. Well, with the exception of, I would say, one training session. And I don't know. I've come to the opening animation. Do you know how to pronounce the studio name? Just curious.
Blade?
Was it?
Blade's the studio, but you're talking about the producer. Haoliners Animation League is the one that was playing at the very beginning. And that animation, or that portion of it, is very, very reminiscent of a lot of anime that we've seen.
Yes, and I've come to appreciate that I've come to expect, not appreciate, well, appreciate too, I guess, but I've come to expect really good, story for one, animation two, and just overall quality whenever I see that opening. And I it's not that I feel let down. I don't know. I guess I just built it up before, because I built it up before I realized what it was, you know?
Right. And I can get what you're saying, but Blade is a really new studio. I mean, they've only done a couple of other animes, and even then, it has the same kind of style or animation to it. So it was interesting that they decided to go with that studio in terms of who would be producing it or directing it as a whole. But I wasn't too bad. I wasn't too mad with the animation. It's the story that I more or less had a problem with.
Really? See, that for me, the animation itself was all over the place. I really appreciate, and I thoroughly enjoyed the fact that it felt like have you ever seen Ruby?
I have.
Do you remember where in the beginning they didn't quite have the budget for the background characters, and the more popular they got as the story progressed, instead of the background characters simply being like shadowy blank spaces where a character would go?
Right.
They did that here, and I don't think it was because of lack of funds, but I liked that they focused on the main characters more than background characters.
Right, and that's actually a common practice for a lot of the other shows that are out there, is won't even waste the time on the animation for a lot of the other characters. They'll just have them basically be a gray blob or a gray silhouette, simply because they're not important. They don't want to waste the time or effort or resources or anything else, and they really want to highlight and bring forward the main people that are going to be interacting or being dealt with in the scene.
I just thought of something. It's kind of like they're min-maxing on animation.
Oh, yeah.
I literally just thought of that, but it makes sense. And like I said, I enjoyed it. I thought the fight scenes were not spectacular. I did like the fact that every time they would name a new attack, and I don't think he duplicated any special attacks, but they always went one step further, one step higher, one step, beyond. And they're like, this is an attack that does this. This is an attack that does that. This is a super secret special Omega attack that he only reached by studying super hard and getting certain prerequisites done, but he can only use it once. And you're like, okay.
Well, they didn't even say that he could only use it once. They never even went as far as to say anything in anything about him being able to only use it once.
That's fair.
It's just that when he went to the island prison where his father is, and when I say he, I mean Ming or however, what was it? They called him a couple different things. They didn't really specify or set on a name for him. It's but him and Kay were basically the main protagonists, and it's funny because Kay really, you don't know their true defined relationship because he keeps cutting her off whenever she tries to speak.
Oh, God. Yeah, and there's that, too. Like, it's just, she goes by so many different aliases that it almost plays like a video game. And when she's in disguise, it's a stupidly obvious disguise, and she's like, I am Special Lady K. And she ends up going to, I'm Vitamin C.
Yeah, and it's not just Special Lady K to Vitamin C. It's Lady K, Special Lady K, My Fair Lady K, Super Special Sales Lady K, to just like keeps escalating and changing it all the way through. And then it finally gets to a point, I'm Vitamin C. And then Ming goes, that you ran out of K's. It's not even a K anymore. Did you just run out? What the hell's going on? So here's my problem with this, though. Right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So episode 1, you have the backstory, the background. You learn about all the stuff that's going on, and then you go into them taking this super special exam. And then next episode is, again, them taking this super special exam, and they're going through their trials and tribulations and things like that to try and get through. And he's a cheater because, that's what this whole thing's about, is cheaters and people who are not, and they have this symbiotic relationship.
Well, let's clarify, because there's only 2 different types of students, and they specify this in episode 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Actually, episode 1. You have C-type students, which are cheaters, and L-type students, which are learners. And learners are fine by themselves, except when cheaters are around, because cheaters don't want them to succeed, so they'll take out as many L-types as they can, or learner types.
Or other cheater types. And that's where the cheater type with the learner type symbiotic relationship comes in, because you have a learner that'll go, hey, I will let you willingly copy off of me. I will help you pass as long as you protect me.
And the significance of this test, this school, is if you score high, you will reach the pinnacle of society. If you don't, you're a janitor with a pet rat. So, and it has nothing to do with how smart you are. It's only the test result.
Okay.
For instance, in the monologue that they do, or the explanation, the C-type student ends up using the L-type student as a shield, writes his name on the paper, and he succeeds even though he's dumb as bricks.
Right.
Whereas a smart kid is collateral damage, and unfortunately can't retake the test for some weird reason, even though it's stated that they could take it more than once.
Right. I mean, well, they never specifically state it, but they do allude to it pretty strongly.
Yeah.
One of the I'm going to tell you why I kind of have a problem with it, right? Why I have a problem with the story. So episode 1, 2, 3, 4, it's fine. They're going through their testing every day, right?
Yeah.
You get to episode 5, what happens?
Episode 5. They're so short. You might as well just say episode 3.
Okay. Episode 5, it basically breaks monologue, and it goes for this, I want to say documentary style thing where Kay is in a dress talking about what's going on, and everyone's kind of giving like random half answers or answers to the questions you don't hear going on, and you kind of see some background action sequences going on in between everything, in between Ming and Shu. And even then it just kind of ends with like no real discussion or real plot or anything as to what happened.
And that's what I mean by it progresses without you watching. So Shu it's really difficult to nail the attraction between Ming and Shu down. I think Shu is very much so the aggressor, and Ming either is oblivious or willfully ignorant, I think is a good way to put it. And Shu goes from being obsessed, being like, Ming is the one for me, to who's that? And there's a fallout between them. And Ming has this style where his attack is basically manipulating wind and paper.
Yeah, and then when he finally learns the third manipulation, which is fire, because it only ever makes sense that if you can manipulate wind and paper, you obviously can manipulate fire too at the same time.
Totally makes sense. Totally. Anyway, so it appears that Ming and Shu came into a confrontation, and Shu is, I don't know if he's older, but he's definitely more equipped, would be a good way to put it. So it appears that Shu is much more experienced and deadly, if you will. In a previous episode, I guess, everyone's in this water pool, where they have to take a test, and everybody's submerged except for Shu and Shu's partner. They're almost like ninja walking on the water, and these sharks that were giving everyone a problem, Shu was able to take care of without even looking at. So that gives me the impression that he's potentially a boss later on, Which
turns out to be like the next episode for random sporadic points throughout.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't like a true, I don't know, he wasn't like a true boss in the sense where you defeat him and he's gone. I think he was a learning tool so that he'd be forced to go from wind and paper to go see his father at a forbidden island for some reason. That, for the record, if I was his dad, I would never leave this prison island, where he doesn't seem to be in prison at all. And it's kind of like, I don't know, the feeling I got was instead of it being prison, it was more of a
vacation.
I thought maybe it was like his own private island that he taught people his craft.
That, or he just has some particular really tastes. I mean, I
don't know. He had bombshells at his feet, like by the beautiful women in bathing suits.
Men.
At his feet.
I mean, like,
well, and that men were like on level 99.
And he was there.
That was hilarious.
That was. So also to clarify one thing here really quick. Ming, he's after this white-haired bombshell. Ki is totally into Ming having a relationship with Shu, and Shu is totally after Ming. So you have this wonderful random triage where Ki wants Shu and Ming to be together, but Ming wants to be with this white-haired bombshell. So anytime, anywhere, at any point, Ming is in a particular questionable situation with men, she thoroughly enjoys it.
So you mentioned triage. Perhaps maybe a triage X?
Sure, why not?
Throwback to a previous episode.
Nowhere near as good as that. I'm just going to throw that out there right now. Nowhere near as good as that.
Yeah, but no, it's just, I don't know. I think it's meant to be comical, but it doesn't come off as obviously comical. You have to take the whole series for what you assume it to be, because there is no satisfying ending for me. And I think one of our friends on Discord would thoroughly enjoy the ending, specifically because it has no bookend.
Fair enough. I can completely see that. I am not a fan of the ending either, although it kind of alludes to something happening, but much like the rest of the series, it alludes to something happening and never showing you that end result.
Leaves you guessing.
Exactly. So
frustrating. Super frustrating.
I mean, it doesn't come to any type of resolution, like at all, whatsoever. And here's the other part, right? Here's something that I'm having trouble grasping at. Maybe you can help me.
Okay, I'll try.
All right. So Ming openly cheats and even tells the teachers that how he's cheating in front of the teachers. And yet he is not reprimanded, kicked out, nothing like that. Whereas of someone else who faintly had the look of, oh, well, they could be cheating, is instantly reprimanded.
Well, see, they're not fighting. So the biggest difference with Ming and everybody else is Ming is actually confronting the examiner and beating the examiner. So, I mean, if you beat someone to a pulp and you cheat, it's fine. If you sneeze the wrong way, you're going to get kicked out. So, I mean, choose your battles.
Okay. So what you're saying is I can totally go up to any examiner, just beat the living tar out of them, go, by the way, I'm cheating, walk out of the class and get straight A's. That's what you're saying? I mean, like, that's what I'm getting, right? Yeah.
Well, yes and no. Yes, no, someone normal can't do it. But if you go to the school shop and get the appropriate plot armor, it's perfectly fine.
Okay. I got you. Okay. So how much is said plot armor, sir? Because we run across this all the time. And I'm telling you, man, I really got to get me some of that plot armor. I mean, it would help me out of so many situations. I'm telling you.
I would say you're probably going to have to throw your own father in Prison Island.
Really? I mean, that's so hard.
It's so harsh. I know.
No, it's hard. I mean, like, it's so hard to do that because there's no Prison Island close by to me. I'm landlocked.
Well, you know.
Can I just, like, leave him out in the middle of a desert or forest or something like that? I mean, like,
no. Stick him in a box, UPS ship him.
Okay. All right. I get you. I could do that. I can roll with that. That's something that I can do. I can handle that.
UPS might be a bit expensive. Go with DHL. It'll be better.
All right. Well, you know, I mean, like, the postal service is getting pretty competitive in some rates, in some aspect. I mean, like, what if I just kind of crush them into a flat rate box? That'll work, right?
Flat rate shipping, yeah. Yeah, that'll work. Stamp on the side, fragile.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Goodness.
So, I mean, this...
Well, I think it's meant to be humorous. It's not meant to be taken serious at all. I would say it's almost on par with most shonen rather than any non-fighting. What I did think was really peculiar, would be a good way to put it, was the way that the teacher acted. Because when the homeroom teacher, when she got drunk, she would always lament and complain about how she would take these cute boys on dates, and then because she's over 30, she's now washed up, and instead of them being interested in her, they're now interested in her juniors. They're like, you never had a chance, and she goes, you never had a chance to begin with, and they're like, well, why did we go out on this date? And she goes, you just don't understand. And then she just goes off, and you're bald. Like all these random insults. You're too much of a child. You're bald. How dare you? You think you had a chance with me? Ha ha ha. No. But really, you might have. See, so, and that's something that I can actually agree with you on, is that this show does have some comedic moments in it, which tickled my funny bone. There's no getting around it. It did tickle my funny bone, but as a show overall, I honestly, it did not appeal to me that much. It didn't have any story. It didn't have any depth. It just, to me, I understand you disagree, but to me, it just felt like it was something that was slapped together to fill in a random void for about 10, 15 minutes. I think that you feel that way because of the ending.
I feel that way because of the whole series.
Well, let's zoom in on this little ending that you dislike, that I dislike.
You mean what ending? Let's clarify this. What ending? Like there was no ending.
So Ming gets a letter from Shu after defeating the homeroom teacher, who turns out to be an alien bent on destruction and trying to draw the moon to destroy the Earth. So that happened. But after that's all said and done, they're going, wow, the first semester's finally over. To me, I'm like, the first semester? At the beginning of the show, you said it was one test. What happened?
Yeah. Instead, they had multiple tests.
Yeah. And now, school season 1 is over, waiting for the rest. So it alludes to the fact that there could be more seasons coming.
I really hope not.
Well, I'm not a fan of that idea. And I mean, you seem mildly not a fan of that from all of what we've said so far.
Oh yeah, no, I'm a super fan of it. You can label me fanboy. I will totally get this tattooed right on me.
No season 2.
No season 2.
No rigor. Season 2. So he gets a letter, and of course, Ko, or My Fair Lady K, was like, hey, there's this letter that Shu wanted me to give you, Ming. And he looks at it, and it's a little heart letter. You can obviously tell it's a love letter. And he opens it, reads it, and he goes, okay. And so he goes behind this school. He's like, I wonder what Shu wanted from me. And, of course, the scene is where Shu is supposed to confess love. And My Fair Lady K is there and oogling and just going, this is going to happen. Oh, no, that's going to happen. And you see a little thought bubbler. And you see Ming walk off and go, oh, hey, Shu, what's up? What did you want from me here? And then you hear a gunshot, and that's it. I apologize. You hear a gunshot, a shocked expression from Fair Lady Vitamin C, and then nothing.
And that's the ending, which really is annoying.
I mean, it's unfulfilling. So you don't know who shot what. You don't know if it was a murder-suicide. You don't know if it was... I don't know, cannibalistic in nature. I mean, your brain can go off in many different directions. So, one more thing. It didn't even sound like a real gunshot, so you don't even know.
Well, I mean, did you expect it to sound like a real gunshot?
I was thinking, because in the very beginning, they've got pen guns to shoot off all the other cheaters.
It's not a pen gun to shoot off all the cheaters. It's just a tranquilizer pen gun that has an unlimited amount of ammo.
Well, now I'm concerned, because if that was a tranq gun, what the heck is Shu going to do to Ming that made My Fair Lady C, Vitamin C, decide to have such a shocked expression?
Well, it wasn't anything good because it wasn't a pleasurable expression.
Fair. It was more horrified.
Exactly. All right. Okay, so I think we're at the point of no return, sir.
Yeah, I think we're ready to rank this top 10 material.
Yeah. You go ahead. You rank it that if you want, big guy. You go ahead. You rank it if you want. On a scale of up to 10, though, how would you rank this? I think you said a 10, right? Is that what you're going with, a 10?
You can hold off on that mythical number. Gee, there must be something wrong with me if I decide 10 for this.
All right. So.
All right. Realistically speaking, the animation was good. The story was non-existent, but the fight scenes were nice. So I'm going to go with a 6. It's something I'd watch again. It's something I would share with others, as I'm doing here, but it's not something that I'd be like, hey, if you don't like this, we're not friends.
Okay.
You know?
All right. I am going to go with a 3. And I'm going with a 3.
We're not friends. Okay.
This guy. I'm going with the 3 because the animation was good. That was about it. It was entertaining for what it was. I most certainly would not watch it again, at least not willingly watch it again. And I was disappointed in the overall story. I wish there was more to it, had more sustenance to it, but it did not. So that's why I'm going with a 3. I can't watch it again. It has no story. I would not recommend this to anyone.
Okay.
And that's it.
Well, I mean, we're going to disagree sometimes. I'm glad we do. Otherwise, I'd be slice of life for life.
Oh yeah, I know. You love your slices of life.
Yeah. Just this is a nice. in my opinion, this is a very nice palate cleanser from all of the movies we've been watching lately. The movies, I agree, phenomenal, but I don't want to watch. I'm glad this happened because I didn't want to get into a philosophical conversation about the meaning behind this.
Yeah, I gotcha. So what you're saying is you don't want to hear my next choice. Is that it?
Oh, no. Talk about a segue. What's your next choice, sir?
It's a movie. It's a comedy, slice of life, supernatural.
Oh, God. I mean, yeah, totally. What's up?
Okko's in. And it actually came out pretty recently. It came out in September 2018.
Oh.
And it's runs for about an hour and a half. It is actually on a variety of other platforms, including Netflix, so which is nice.
Alrighty, my friend. I think this is it for us.
Indeed. If you enjoyed this week's choice, or if you want to check out next week's choice, have any other recommendations for us, feel free to reach out to us. You can reach out to us via email, Twitter, Facebook, or talk to us on Discord. All that information is available in the show notes. If you're listening to this on YouTube, feel free to leave a comment, or all the contact information is also on there. Until next time, I'm Jack.
And I'm Rick. And we'll see you next time.